acted and made statements that have demonstrated a lack of respect for the leadership and organs of Jubilee Party. 4. That the charged member has on various occasions, through utterances and statements, advanced positions both inside and outside the Senate that are contrary to the position of Jubilee Party and the party leader. 5. That the charged member has failed to give reasons for non-attendance of the parliamentary group meeting held on 11th May 2020. 6. That the charged member has failed to render any apology for non-attendance of the parliamentary group meeting held on 11th May 2020.
Now we have to take the plea. We hear from you. Do you plead guilty to those charges as read out, or do you plead not guilty?
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
I, Senator Victor Prangay, do solemnly swear that the evidence that I shall give to this committee shall be the truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God. Thank you.
Senator Irungu Kangata, prosecuting your case.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for that. Mr. Chairman, I am bringing this case as the Chief Whip of the Senate Parliamentary Group. Mr. Chairman, as at that time when these issues arose, I was the Deputy Chief Whip of the Senate, and I was the only whip who attended the meeting of 11th of May 2020 before the State House, the party leader, His Excellency Ruto.
If you want some writing material, you can. I think he requires.
No, I have.
You have.
I have.
Okay, proceed.
So, thank you, Mr. Chairman. The charges are as they appear on the charge sheet, which essentially are on 11th of May 2020, there was a Jubilee Coalition Parliamentary Group meeting as the State House. It was convened by the party leader, His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta. We prepared minutes which were signed by His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta as the party leader, and I also co-signed those minutes as the whip of this party. Mr. Chairman, there were several senators who attended, but there were also several other senators who failed to attend. Among those who failed to attend, Mr. Chairman, is the charged member. Mr. Chairman, the charged member happens to be a Jubilee nominated senator, and therefore he was obliged to attend that meeting at State House. Mr. Chairman, we communicated the notice of that meeting through the phone number of the charged member as appearing at our records of the party. Those records have not been changed. There has been no update, and therefore we assume that number appearing on our records belongs to the charged member. Mr. Chairman, we used an SMS, which is a recognized way of party communication. There has been a previous PG. It was communicated through an SMS. The charged member attended. This one, the charged member failed to attend. Mr. Chairman, failure to attend a meeting set by the party, particularly one that is being presided by His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, the party leader of Jubilee Coalition, is a violation of various provisions of the Jubilee Constitution. Mr. Chairman, I cite Article 16 of the Jubilee Coalition. I cite Article 13. I also cite Article 17 of the Constitution. Mr. Chairman, after the meeting was held, there was no apology that was rendered by the charged member, despite my various efforts. Mr. Chairman, I also want to tell this Honorable Tribunal that I myself, I went looking for the charged member. I found him at a restaurant called Peel Stop along Langata Road. And I tried to tell him, my brother, why can't you tell us whether you endorse the resolutions of the meeting or you don't support the resolutions of the meeting? Of course, maybe one can argue, I found him in a place where people drink alcohol, and therefore maybe that was not a good place for me to go looking for him. But be that as it may, I did find him after the meeting. I tried to persuade him to express himself, whether he is supporting resolution or not. But for one good reason or another, which he may explain to this honorable tribunal, he did not express himself. Mr. Chairman, apart from that, the honorable member needs to understand that His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta has an agenda. He wants to unify this country. He is our party leader. He wants to support the farmers. He wants to support urban areas. He wants to support agriculture, health, and various sectors. Mr. Chairman, it is the party's position that that can only be effected through the senators, through parliamentarians. They need to support His Excellency whenever he calls for a meeting. And therefore, when you have a situation, a member of parliament or a senator is called for a meeting and he fails to attend the meeting, then that is a negation of the vision that His Excellency has for this country, which is to unify, to develop, and to make Kenya a better place. And that can only happen through a party, and this party has a legal duty to ensure that we support the party leader. And when the charge member failed to attend, it is my case that he violated the Jubilee Party coalition without even rendering an apology, and therefore we think that he needs to be disciplined by this party. Thank you, that's all.
Yes, thank you very much, Senator Irungu, prosecuting. Senator Kurunge, you listened, you heard what Senator Irungu has to say. You have to defend yourself against those charges as laid out and as clearly stated by Senator Irungu. Do you want to defend yourself?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Now, you have listened carefully what he has had to say. These members want to hear you. What is your case?
Mr. Chairman, before the Honorable Senator defends himself, I think the question should have been put very clearly that you are entitled to representation either by a member of the party who is in good standing or by an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. And I think what did not come out clearly is a question as to whether you want to proceed with your defense by yourself or you would want to have an opportunity to be represented by an advocate.
Thank you, Mbogwa.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I'm ready to defend myself here.
Thank you. Proceed.
Thank you.
Just, you were sworn, have you? Yes, already been sworn. Proceed.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Chair, the prosecutor and members of the state. I think I'll start by maybe giving my background information so that maybe the committee will get a background information of myself.
That's okay, we want to understand who you are. That's perfect, yes.
I'm Senator Victor Prengei. I was nominated by Jubilee Party. I come from a small community called Giek. We are less than 30,000 people in this country. I was given the nomination on the basis of being a minority and marginalized community. We've never had any representation in Parliament, whether in Senate, whether in the National Assembly since independence of this country. So my first loyalty.
Now that you have gone that direction,
yes,
so that we understand you, you can complete by telling us your level of education and all that. Your education background and what you do, so that we understand you fully.
Okay.
Yes.
I am a graduate from Maseno University. I did economics and also doing my thesis MBA at JCUT. And on that basis, I was given a nomination by Jubilee Party, which has never happened from any other party in this country, and my loyalty starts from that point. I come from a place called, it is part of East Mau Forest, and maybe the committee also can visit the place, because on that material day I was in the village because of the COVID-19 issue. I took my children to the village. In my village, Mr. Chairman, we've got very poor network coverage.
Be a bit louder, please.
Sorry?
We
have very poor network coverage. We also have very poor road network. We also don't have electricity in my village. In fact, in my house, Chairman, I use solar. And because of this rainy season, I am not able to get enough energy in my house to sustain whatever I'm charging my phone. On that particular day, I did not receive the message from the party. However, I was destined to Nairobi the next day because we had a committee meeting that was supposed to visit Kariobangi on what happened, because I'm a member of Lands Committee. In fact, I'm the vice chair of the Lands Committee. So, Mr. Chairman, my phone was off. I came to Nakuru where I charged my phone. When I charged my phone, Mr. Chairman, I couldn't even be able to read and go through all the SMSs and calls that I've received. However, I was coming to Nairobi. On my way to Nairobi, I was called by a colleague.
You are?
I was called by a colleague.
Yes.
That why didn't you come to the meeting at State House?
Who was the colleague?
Sorry, my colleague.
Yeah, who was it?
My colleague, Senator.
Which senator?
Senator for Kajiado.
Yes.
I told him I've not had the information, I've not received any call, I've not gotten any message. He told me, however, because it was around 11, he told me, however, at the meeting they talk, yeah, I don't know what was the conversation, I didn't know. They talked, and then lately he came to me as well, told me that we want you to sign this document. I asked him what document. He showed me just a piece of paper with signatures. And then I told him what was the agenda. He didn't want to discuss with me. He told me that this list you are supposed to sign. Then I told him I support whatever happened, but because I didn't go, I didn't appear in, I didn't go to State House in the morning, then I won't be able to sign this letter. But I support whatever has happened during that meeting, because I've always been attending all the meetings, Mr. Chairman, called by the party. I've been loyal. I've never ever missed any meeting. That was the first one, and it was beyond my capability. I've always been supporting also Jubilee's agenda in terms of bills, in terms of supporting motions, and also paying the subscriptions that we are supposed to do as nominated senators. On the other allegations, Mr. Chair, I think all of you bear me witness that I've never attended any public rally, gone to any radio station or any print media, talk anything against the party. I've never done that, and I will not do that, because this is the only party that I know. I'm loyal to it. This is the only party that I've recognized my community, the small community that I come from. In fact, I don't have any other party leader. My loyalty will remain so. as long as I'm the senator under the Jubilee government. I'm also looking at the other charges.
You can go through them one by one.
One by one?
Answer is
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Charge number one, Mr. Chairman, I've explained myself on the reason as to why I didn't attend, I was not able to attend the State House meeting on 11th. And that one was very clear. Number two, that immediately after the State Parliamentary Group meeting, the charge member openly opposed. I have never opposed anything that the party suggests or decides. On number three, Mr. Chairman, that the charge member has on various occasions acted and made statements that have demonstrated lack of respect for leadership and organs of the party. That one, Mr. Chairman, I can attest to you that unless maybe the committee has evidence, I've never done such. On number four, Mr. Chairman, the charge member has on various occasions through utterance and statements, that one I've said that not in any public rally, not in church, not in any radio station, not in any TV, I've never ever done that. That the charge member has failed to give reason of non-attendance, I think I have done that, Mr. Chairman. The reason as to why, yes?
Can you be clear on that? Just
that the charge member has failed to give reasons for non-attendance.
yes.
I've cited, Mr. Chairman, that in my own village home, that we have a very poor network. It's inside the eastern part of Mao Forest. There is no network.
Maybe just for the tribunal, what is Eastern Mao?
Eastern Mao is.
I know we can check it on Google. We can Google it, but just,
yes, but currently it is in under Molo constituency.
Yes.
Yeah, a ward called Mariashoni.
Yes.
So in Mariashoni, Mr. Chairman, there is very poor network coverage. We don't have, especially right now when it is on a rainy season. Most of the bridges that we have are washed away by floods. We can't, you don't just come out of your house and go to town before even calling and finding out how is the road. We stay at home. I've also said that we don't have electricity. Even in my own house, I use solar.
Yeah,
and you know, solar now, Mr. Chairman, doesn't work well because of rain. It rains almost throughout the day, and we don't have power. So those are the main reasons as to why even my phone, Mr. Chairman, was off that day. Until when I get to Nakuru, I charged my phone. On number 6, Mr. Chairman, that the charged member has failed to render any apology. I received a show cause letter from the party, and I replied to that letter because I looked at the charges. I looked at the charges that were against me, and I did not see any that I've ever done. Then I wrote back to the party requesting to provide me with information or maybe something like evidence on whatever allegations that were made to me. But I've never received any response to that letter, because in that letter I stated categorically that once I get the response, I am ready to apologize. But I've never received any other communication since then. So I think, Mr. Chairman, that is all I can say. I don't know any other party myself. This is the only party that have recognized me and recognized my community. I'll be loyal to the party and the party leader anytime. I'll be supporting the agenda of the party and the country at large in order for us to realize development in this country. So I thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Senator Prunge. Yes, yes, members. Yes, Vice Chair.
I have one or two questions. First one is with what you answered last, particular number 6. When you got the notice to show cause, you requested for particulars. But the evidence you have given us is that you are in the village and you've given us all the challenges you are experiencing.
Yeah.
Why couldn't you, in your response, which should have been your first reaction, a reasonable man, why couldn't you put the challenges you were experiencing at that time in your response? Say you didn't have network, you were in the village. Instead of saying, I don't have particulars, I was not invited for any party, why not respond with the facts that were facing you?
Thank you very much. I think that one was an omission, but I also thought that maybe if I write explanation to all the challenges that I do have, I could be writing so much, but I knew that maybe one day I'll be given a chance to explain myself.
So you're saying it was an omission?
Sorry?
You're saying it was an omission?
Okay, it's kind of, I don't know, because I thought that writing all those will be a 3-page or something, which might be cumbersome, but I knew that at some point I might be given a chance to explain and really give the community the challenges I underwent.
Are you the one who wrote the response, or somebody wrote it for you?
No, I did it.
Okay. You said that on the 11th you traveled from your village to Nakuru.
Yes.
What time did you get to Nakuru?
At around 10:30.
What time did the senator from Kajiado call you?
He called me at around 2.
So you were in Nakuru for the better part of the day?
Yes, I came because I also had to stay a bit because of charging my phone. I came, I charged my phone, and I get some lunch, and come to Nairobi.
I want to try and maybe put you a bit on the spot. Between 10:30 and 2 p.m. when you are now within...
Sorry?
Between 10:30 and 2 p.m. when you got a call from the senator from Kajiado, you are now within network and
yes,
where people are communicating.
Yes.
And as it had not at that point come to your attention that there was a meeting called at State House by the party leader. You didn't know at that point between 10:30 and 2 p.m.
Yes, I didn't know because as for us.
May I finish my question, then maybe you can answer?
Sorry?
May I finish your
Okay.
Because no TV was mentioning any party, no newspaper was saying anything that you had looked at, social media, nothing. You were in the dark between 10:30 to 2 p.m.
I want to say this because there has been a lot going around and so many speculations that goes around. You are being told maybe you'll be called to State House, maybe there will be a meeting, blah, blah. Until you get an official SMS or a call from the party or the party leader or whoever is responsible, that is when you will take such information serious.
Okay.
Yeah.
My question is not about taking it serious, is we understand that the previous day you could have had challenges, but from 10:30 to 2 p.m. when you are within network, I want to know if you had knowledge that there was a meeting taking place for the time that you were in Nakuru.
No.
That as you're sitting in Nakuru, there is a meeting taking place.
I didn't.
You didn't have knowledge?
Yes.
Okay. I think my final question will be, you said that later that day, you were with a colleague when Senator Kangata joined you.
Yes.
Where was it?
At a restaurant called Pit Stop.
You traveled from Nakuru to Nairobi?
Yes, I came in the afternoon now. I was coming for the other meeting because it was communicated 2 weeks before. Then I was to come for that meeting. I joined my colleagues. We go to Kariobangi.
Well, you said it, at what time was it?
Sorry?